वृत्तिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती सरस्वती।
Om Shanti. Good morning to you all. We normally have 30 people, and because of the weather, I think everybody stayed at Tulips last night. Anyway, today's theme, accessing your inner wisdom. Om Shanti. Your inner wisdom is innate and always present. When you learn to listen to your inner guidance, you'll find it much, much more easier to create positive changes in your life. It simply takes a willingness to slow down, move beyond your conscious mind, and connect to your inner guidance. We've got Didi today and Masana Didi today to explain more about inner wisdom. Didi, all yours.
Om Shanti, greetings of peace and love to each and every one of you. And thank you for the sweet invitation. And you've actually expressed in essence what I'm going to share. So that's so beautiful. And it's such a privilege to be with each of you today, sisters. We're brother souls, however, in this body at this time on planet Earth, in the confluence age when my mind and intellect is aligned and connected with Baba, the divine, then I have gone beyond the pain and sorrow of the old world, of the Iron Age. So it's wonderful for us to make this time together and to explore more what really is the wisdom, all these treasures that are within each of us. There is an abundance of treasures. There is abundance of wisdom. However, at this time, when being aware that this is the end of the cycle and it's the Iron Age of body consciousness, of pain and sorrow, and Maya and Ravan are at their strongest. So I can forget at times who I really am and what is my true purpose of being in this particular body, gender, race, culture, and anything else that in the old world separates me from others who are all children of God as well. So what is my true purpose? So before I go any further, let me introduce myself in essence. So I am Masana, and in this birth, I am Celtic Jamaican, my mother from the Lake District in England, and my father from Jamaica. And I've been blessed to live in both different cultures as a baby, child, and adult. So it's a very rich cultural mix. And at this time, I'm based at Global Cooperation House in Brent, which hopefully all of you have been to. And as you know, it's the extension of Madhaban, our sacred home up in the mountains in Rajasthan. So Global Cooperation House serves a very important function that Daddy Janki set up to serve the world. And I have been blessed to be in this knowledge for 18 years. So I am both first a student and then one of the teachers of Raja Yoga meditation. And I'd like us to start with a short meditation so we can really come even more deeply into our soul conscious awareness. And then I'm going to share some more thoughts. There'll be opportunity for meditation and obviously for questions and discussion. So let me share a few thoughts. So if you would like to prepare yourself. This is a meditation into soul consciousness. I sit quietly and can feel my physical body relax. I let tensions fall away and I focus within on my own inner being. I visualize my eternal identity. I am a point of light, a shining star, radiating light. As I focus on this awareness of who I truly am, I feel the connection with the body becoming one of detachment and love. I, the master of the body, separate from this body. For a few moments, I allow my thoughts to go deep within this point of eternity. I, the eternal being, without a beginning, without an end, touch eternity. I am peace. I am love. I am eternal. Om Shanti. So gently, gently come back to being present, either soul sitting on the throne or the center of the forehead, looking out through the two physical eyes, listening with the physical ears, and yet retaining that soul conscious awareness, connecting with Baba as we continue to explore together, accessing our inner wisdom. And so the first question really, and hopefully you have a pen and a notebook. This, of course, is not a lecture. It's sharing thoughts, ideas. However, there may be something that kind of touches you that you feel, oh, I'd like to capture that and reflect on that later. Or if you've got colored pens nearby, pencils, then sometimes put in a little symbol, sometimes a heart, a star, a diamond, a flying bird, or the living tree, whatever is touching you, because we are creative beings. And the more that I can access, acknowledge, and bring out the creativity that is within I, the soul, then I am actually bringing that little bud of the rose. Baba will refer to us in different ways with such sweet, unlimited love. And one of them that touches this one's heart is that each of us is a rosebud. And as each of us starts to open up more and more to receiving and connecting with the unconditional love, ocean of purity, ocean of eternal peace, bliss, access to eternal wisdom and truth, and of course, purity is essential, then the little rosebud starts to open up. And the perfume, you remember original roses when they actually had a fragrance. Well, this is how Baba sees each of us. So maybe draw a beautiful little rosebud and then a rose that is opening up. And be mindful and aware as a gentle, compassionate observer of self. So being a gentle, compassionate observer of the mind within I, the soul. Am I becoming the inner critic? Or am I continuing to be my best inner friend, my inner coach? And I suggest you explore it for yourself, that in the Iron Age, the era of body consciousness, where Maya and Ravan is the strongest and the battery of souls is at its weakest, that I can get trapped in what I describe as the old world language, the old world culture of blame, attack, judgment, and criticism. And that the biggest critic on the planet can first be of self. I'm no good. I never do anything right. I'm not valuable. I'm not worthy. I'm not lovable. All those I am not are all illusions that I have acquired, both in this birth and past births, by other people who are also caught in their body consciousness and trauma. And this is the time where Baba is saying, come back into your truth, who you truly are. Come back into your self-respect, honor and love yourself, and only take the wisdom directly from me, because everybody else, including myself, Masana, can get caught back in the traps of the old world culture, world language. And Baba's language, as each of you know, is of unconditional love, compassion, mercy. So in any moment, I can choose to check my thoughts. Where am I in this moment? Am I back in the darkness, the shadows, the night, the dark night of the soul? Or am I giving myself a hug and saying, oh, remember who I truly am? So the first question for yourself to remind every now and then, who am I really? Am I all those different roles that I play in life? And the older the body gets, the more we accumulate many roles. As a baby, we probably have one role. We're labeled, remember, labeled, a little boy, a little girl. Although nowadays, the youth are beginning to even push those boundaries and talk about genderless, which is quite interesting because as a soul, we move beyond gender and these labels. So very interesting that. However, back to really reconnecting and honoring and celebrating all of the uniqueness of who I am. This is a journey of reconnecting, rediscovering, reclaiming who I truly am. God, Baba, Shiva sees each of us in our total, complete form. So God is aware of where the weaknesses are. However, God chooses not to focus on the weaknesses. Each of us have been conditioned to focus on the weaknesses of others. And now, with honesty and humility, each of us are taking time, like right now, and other times when meditating or listening to the Murli every day, that I am becoming more honest with, oh, there is a weakness here. How can I transform it, rather than judge myself, blame myself, and go back into sorrow? So being the detached, compassionate observer of self with Baba, is essential at this time. So who do I belong to? So am I experimenting with all the many, many relationships that Baba is offering us as our Supreme Father, Supreme Mother? That it's Baba teaching us this knowledge, Baba teaching each of us who we truly are and our purpose in life at this time in the body that you are temporarily residing in. Temporarily residing in. Baba will refer to being the gardener, the magician, supreme healer, supreme friend, companion, guide. So if there are some of these relationships that you have not experimented with, I encourage you to experiment with them. Baba also says, experience me as your child. Have you experienced that? And so maybe that's a new one to experiment with. Because the more that I experiment with Baba's guidance, the more I become that sparkling star inside. Or if you look at a diamond with the different facets, if it's a very experienced jeweler, they will cut many facets into the diamond. And each of us, our light is being reflected more and more as I take the powers directly from God, from Baba, and begin to shine with enlightenment. So let's go a little further. So the wisdom, let's first remind ourselves of the three faculties of the soul. So I have a conscious mind, and the function of the conscious mind is to create every thought, which creates every feeling. So there's the heart within the soul, and then every intention. And when I am congruent, when I am the soul in alignment and connecting with the unlimited mind of God, then I am accessing unlimited wisdom, unlimited truth. The conscious mind also is the place for creativity. So make a note, maybe draw a lovely big heart and put in the heart a reminder that later during the day, reflect on maybe some of the dreams, the visions I had as a small child of what I loved to play with. Maybe I used to love drawing pictures or painting or skipping or running or dancing, singing, all those creative aspects. Do I still incorporate them into my life that brings more freedom and lightness? Or did I get so trapped in the conditioning of what I ought, should be doing because of the role that society or family perceived I needed to represent? These are very deep questions. Make a note of the questions so you can reflect, take them into your meditation practice and journal with, write about. Because this Baba wants us to shine in all aspects. When I'm accessing truth within me, when I'm accessing the creativity that is unlimited within the soul, Each of you have traveled many births. You've rebirthed many times. So within the sanskaras, the impressions, what I call the subconscious mind, is every memory is recorded. Every minute, hour, day, week, month, and year of this birth, and every other birth that you have had on planet Earth within the cycle of the world drama. And I don't know about you, I can't even remember every minute I experienced yesterday or every hour. There are certain scenes that pop right back in my mind of maybe the past. And be aware of how many of the memories that you still keep alive in you. Are they happy, joyful memories, or are they mainly of the scars and the wounds and the traumas from a little child upward? So learning how to become the master of the mind, I need to be aware that not only is there a conscious mind, in the subconscious mind, and here is a saying that you may like to write down, and it is, I don't know what I don't know that I don't know until I do. I'll repeat it. I don't, and someone might like to put it in the chat. I don't know what I don't know that I don't know until I do. So this is a constant with Baba using yoga power and Srimat, godly knowledge, and choosing. The word choose, it has a very high vibration. So maybe put some gold around it if you have gold pen or a different color. I choose is very much in the present, in the now. I'm becoming my inner coach. And when I choose to use yoga power, God's pure love and light will take me to the shadows of what I don't know that's locked in the memory chit of the subconscious mind of I, the soul. It needs to come up and out into the light of truth. Then I, the soul, can choose to use one of the many powers, the power to discern. Is this still true? Is this story I'm giving myself that I, for instance, am a victim? Is that really true? Is that how God sees me? Or is it an experience that I had in the past that was abhorrent? And now I realize I am no longer that old experience. And it is time to give it up to the ocean of purity. For Raja Yoga meditation, and Baba will often say, it's not only a meditation center that you attend, it's a hospital for wounded souls. And those, all of us, are ancestor souls. We've traveled around the whole cycle. So we have accumulated the most amount of wounds. And yet, at the same time, in the confluence age, every time I bring my attention away from the old blame game and bring myself back and connect and align, I, the soul, with the unlimited mind, heart of God, then I am filling up with truth, integrity, wisdom, unconditional love. And the soul and the wound starts to heal from the inside out. Each of us will be familiar with, it doesn't work if you put a Band-Aid on cancer. One needs to go to the source of the wound and remove whatever the block is, whatever the damage is. whatever the impurity is, and then start to cleanse it. And the only one that can cleanse and purify either soul is the one that does not live in a body, does not get trapped in the drama and Maya and Ravan in the world. So becoming very alert and aware of the negative vices. And I found it very helpful to remember them, the main ones, with the acronym ALGAE, A for anger, L for lust and impure desires, G for greed, which means I feel I'm under the illusion that I'm empty, that I'm worthless, that I'm valueless. It's an illusion. So when I feel empty, I want everything that everybody else has. Right? So it's at a subtle level now, each of you are looking at these vices that can trap me at any point where I've forgotten, oh, who am I really? Who do I belong to? What is my purpose to be in this body at this time on planet Earth? So it's keep bringing yourself back to that. So someone could type in the chat, A for anger, L for lust and impure desires, G for greed. And the other A that often people forget, which Baba is very regularly reminding us about, attachments. So on the gross level, attachment to material things. This is my laptop, this is my chair. Nobody else can sit or use it. So that's gross attachment. A little more subtle, where do I get attached to relationships? Where do I allow somebody else's opinion to influence my knowledge and awareness of who I really am? So where do, and these are key questions to ask yourself every now and then on this journey, where do I give away my inner powers? Equally, the other end of the continuum, because whenever I'm in the Iron Age, I'm in the world of duality. Where do I seek to control somebody else, even if it's subtle? Another important phrase to remind yourself every now and then, expectations guarantee disappointment. Don't take my word for it. Experiment with it. Expectations guarantee disappointment. So when I can start to free myself from being dependent on others or creating a false belief of others being dependent on me, then I start to free myself as a flying bird. And my inner wisdom, my inner qualities, inner godly powers will become brighter. And that will bring more sustenance to those that maybe I'm responsible for caring, either the elderly in the family or the youngest in the family, without getting trapped in bodily relationships. So this is deep to see, where am I subtly still entwined, entangled, and where am I freeing myself up? Okay, so the last one, ego. And for me, at essence, sorry, you had your hand up, yes?
Before you carry on, can you repeat algae again?
Okay, A for anger, L for lust and impure desires, G for greed, the other A for attachment, and E for ego. And ego on the continuum at essence, either I believe I am superior to everybody, false, or the other end of the continuum, I am inferior to everyone, false. So again, regularly check, have I got caught in either superiority or inferiority. Both are false. When I realize I am awesome, that I am extraordinary, amazing soul, a child of God, and that God at this time, every time I connect with God, is bringing me into that awareness of who I truly am and my purpose for being a light on planet Earth. First for the self, family, community, workplace, nation, the whole of the godly human family. And that every other soul is special and unique, no matter how it may be disguised by their behavior. Remember, keep going back behind the screen of the body, in the mind of the soul. The mind's function is to create every thought, feeling, intention. When I come from purity, then I see through the eyes of God others. I see past their impediments. I see past their weaknesses. And I focus on, is there even one small positive aspect I can see in this one? Of course, protect yourself from where there is danger or where someone is manipulative. Protect yourself, and that's where you take directly from God. Let me pause for a moment because I'm aware time is moving, and I just in a moment I'm going to give us some long experiences of meditation. Please write down any questions, and I will give time for that. Another thing I'd like to remind yourself is, well, of course, the intellect, the function of the intellect is to bring out your godly powers. We've been taught about the 8 spiritual powers. I'm not going to mention them. I'm sure you know them. However, there are many others: determination, focus, alertness, awareness, and controlling and ruling power. Raja means king. Yoga means union. It's the sacred union of you with yourself and with God. So do I have controlling and ruling power of this mind that can be like 5 wild horses, triggered by external situations or personalities that are really the heart wound of where there is still pain and sorrow blocked within the subconscious mind of the soul, where the sanskaras, the impressions are. So lots of food for thought. So if it's okay with everyone, I'm going to offer a meditation. Yes, it's okay. And you can put the questions in the chat and we will make time for that after. And I thought I'd like to share the screen and share one that is, you can access if you haven't already, afterwards, YouTube, Release Your Wings, and it's by one of our wonderful yogis in the States, and she's created many visual meditations, audio videos, and this one is 6 minutes and it's called True Consciousness. So I'd like to share this one with you. So everyone, prepare yourself for meditation. Let go of any thoughts. Bring your awareness through the breath and connect with I, the soul.
True consciousness means that I not only know about spirituality, but I'm able to live in the experience of the spirit whilst in action. It means I'm able to live in that joy and that radiance and that light, and that I infuse my daily actions with that light. But in order for me to carry that into action, I have to learn to be that in stillness. Take a moment now to let go of all the roles you play. Mother, friend, beloved, worker. Just let go of all the stories and all the roles and all the masks and return to the simple essence of spirit that you were before you took on all of these roles in the theater of life. All of these are temporary. And to experience true consciousness, I have to go beyond the temporary and pass through a doorway. I have to leave the stage of the world behind. I have to leave the theater of life to experience the backstage. Let go now into that absolute, silent simplicity. No one to be, nowhere to go. Let go of all the stories and just allow that lightness and that radiant beauty of the soul to unleash inside of you, extending as far as the rays of the sun extend. Allow that light to pour into you as you experience the truth of who you are, an eternal spirit, one that transcends roles, one that transcends stories, one that transcends situations. Just enjoy the experience of the eternal, silent, vibrant, beautiful you beyond those. And allow yourself to travel even deeper into that light. Entering a place that is literally like the backstage, a world of light where souls come from before they play their roles on the stage, a place beyond time, a place beyond duties, beyond history. In this backstage, you can rest. And you can be at home, knowing you don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to be anybody. You simply exist. Eternal, radiant, full of lightness, vibrant, full of energy and pure light. Allow yourself to be infused with that energy and light. To experience true consciousness, I have to know how to step off the stage of the world and go behind the scenes backstage in a place beyond time and stories where I simply exist as my real, eternal, pure spiritual self. And strangely enough, when I learn to step off the stage, I can return to the stage in a new way. I can return to the theater of life and move through situations, with that radiance of the soul. I can carry that awareness of being a soul into action and live from that space of true consciousness, not just in meditation, but in my day-to-day existence.
So continue, stayed in that heightened awareness. And I'm going to share some more words for you to reflect on. So stay in that soul conscious connection, absorbing what touched your heart. I'm going to picture up, sorry. I am a serene soul. By becoming quiet inside, I see situations and people clearly. As my mind is always calm, I see with great clarity. As I constantly experience internal peace, I enjoy complete serenity. I am a stable soul. As the storms of change are swirling around me, my inner eye of stillness and stability give me strength. With powerful thoughts and a platform for clear decision making, I embrace change. You are a unique and lovely soul who is colored by the company of God. You remain safe by seeing and speaking about the positive qualities of others. Om Shanti. So gently, gently come back, keeping all of those beautiful feelings, awareness, insights, and you can pop anything in that big heart that you drew in your notebook. And I'm open for any questions. I see there's a question in the chat, so I'll start with that. What is manipulation by others? I don't feel manipulated, exploited, whilst others say I am being manipulated. So my suggestion is that follow your own inner wisdom. If you are not experienced being manipulated, and from me, if everybody could mute for a moment, thank you. And if I am not experiencing being manipulated, i.e., somebody seeking to drain away my inner powers or influence my thoughts, my attitude, then I'm not being manipulated. Another way to look at it is when I surround myself in God's love and light. So at the end of a meditation, invoke that. You can at times invoke like being in a bubble that surrounds you beyond your head, below your feet, and you fill with love, light, purity, whatever you need to move around in the day as a karma yogi. And if you feel there's any leakage, then stop for a moment, check your thoughts, your feelings, bring yourself back into that inner awareness of who you truly are and continue. So that's what I would suggest. Anyone like to ask a question or maybe share an insight you've gained during this session? Yes, would you like to go ahead, Manorma?
I think we don't have enough faith in ourselves to experience that inner wisdom. Do you think so?
Well, first of all, I invite yourself and everyone to speak from I, the soul. And then I give space for everyone else to speak their truth. So I choose not to go into generalizations. So if I have an awareness, which is wonderful to become more aware of wherever my weaknesses are, and I feel I don't have 100% faith in who I truly am, then I've got material to start focusing on and taking even more from Baba's unlimited treasures. Okay, thank you. Yes. Yes, please go ahead.
I thought, or maybe I do believe, that inner wisdom is to believe or trust your gut instinct, which means knowing which creative project to work on and which to park for the time being, where to park for the time being. So your gut instinct, you have to believe and trust that.
So that's wonderful. And when you refer to the gut, I would imagine you're referring to the stomach. And each of us have a physical barometer. So each of us have a vulnerable part in our body. Mine too is the stomach. So when that stomach contracts, and then you know what gets released below. For some, it's palpitation of the heart, or breathlessness, or shoulders going tense, or the headache. So be aware that is the barometer the body is indicating. However, it's actually the soul that first will have that experience, either of that inner wisdom, intuition, and play with the word intuition. Write the word intuition, under it write inner tutor. Inner tutor. So yes, all knowledge is within each of us. It's got covered up at times by the negative vices. So yes, if you get an insight or a piece of wisdom that you know is accurate for you, be it in application to work, a relationship, or what your next step in life is, follow it, because you will know, because you have that inner sense of inner peace and you know it's accurate. For me, I get goosebumps when I know I'm in the presence of the wisdom coming through me, or that getting a catching, touching power from God, or I hear somebody else speaking an eternal truth. So for me, the indication is goosebumps. So for each of us, yes.
Which also gives you courage.
Exactly, which is a spiritual power, the power to face. And every morning, meditate on courage as well as whatever else each of you choose to meditate on. Because I never know, as I move during the day as a karma yogi, what maybe that sudden phone call comes that is shocking, or I'm in a car accident or whatever. I need courage. So expect the unexpected. Somebody else? Somebody has a question, or maybe you gained an insight.
I also believe gratitude has magical powers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so every day have gratitude, and it's gratitude for within as well as outside. So gratitude that I had the energy to get out of bed, gratitude that this body is functioning, gratitude that I now have powerful relationships with God, gratitude that I can choose today to do something different, because I, in my meditation last night, realized, real I, third I the soul, realized that I inadvertently offended somebody yesterday. Do I have the courage to be able today to apologize? So it is whatever it is. Gratitude is essential. Like attracts like, yes? So eternal spiritual laws. What goes round comes round. I reap what I sow. Every action has a reaction. So deep karmic truths. Somebody else? Someone else like to share? As we all benefit from each other's wisdom. If you prefer not to talk, maybe put it in the chat. If we're nearly coming to the end of time. So is everyone clear? One thing that maybe new you're going to put into practice, or something that you're going to deepen and develop, be it a spiritual power or that honoring of self, or bringing out more your own essential qualities, virtues into the world. And remember, the most powerful gift that each of us can give to family, community, nation, the whole godly family, is the power of pure thoughts. Pure thoughts is when we bring those together and connect in the subtle world, the angelic world, then we are starting to invoke and bring down the collective power, pure powers, onto planet Earth. And shifts happen, right? Tipping point is happening. We're at the tipping point on so many levels. First, it's always in one's own life. So if there are no more questions or observations, I'm going to close with one affirmation. Is that okay? And then I'll hand back over to you. So the affirmation I'd like to share with you is: God's benevolence makes you shine with the natural beauty of a peaceful, wise mind and an open, compassionate heart. You are kind to yourself and others. Om Shanti Namaste.
Om Shanti. Whatever you call it, inner wisdom, institution, or your higher self, there's no doubt that we've all received little nudges along the way from that voice, that little voice inside of us. Sometimes they appear as a dream or a vision, or feelings that you can't shift. For me, it can sometimes be a combination of them all. Our inner wisdom can be guiding light, but in a busy world and a head full of mind chatter, that inner voice can get lost, drowned out by the noise. Sometimes it does feel like that. Whenever we don't want to hear something, it blanks it out. And I've had that lots of times. So we need to be gentle, slow down in whatever you're thinking of your thoughts and that. Also, let go of expectations. Thank you very much, Sister Masana. That was wonderful session we had today. And yes, somebody was asking me whether this can be repeated on YouTube. It is on YouTube, so you can have access to it and listen to it. It is wonderful to go back and listen to all
Listen
our
to it. Yeah,
sessions.
it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
all the participants today. I know the sun is
Thank you.
out, so everybody is out for picnics as well.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. It was a
Thank you.
fantastic session today. Thank you, sister. Thank you, Panaben and everyone.
Thank you.
Really nice one. Thank you, sister. Thank you, Panna.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, everybody.
Panna.
Thank you,
Thank
Panna.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Manoraben, kem cho? Namaste.
Namaste. All right, sir.
Fine, fine. Okay. Speak.